Hello YouTube fans, this is the Scar Clown. If you're new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My main goal here by the end of this year is to get 1,000 subscribers. So if you guys can make that come true, that'll be awesome. Um, um, I watched the Myers Fanatics top 5 horror villains. So I figured why not? I'll do one for the hell of it instead of just why not? Basically, it just caught me thinking about my horror. So why not do a top 5 videos of some of my favorite horror villains? So they're not my favorite, it's just called obviously my top 5 horror movie villains. So here we go. Number one, well, I mean number one, number one. Number 5 is Jason Voorhees. Now, when I first saw Jason Voorhees, I thought he looked really cool. I thought it looked like what a wrestler should be, even though he's not a wrestler, duh. But it's like if there was a wrestler that they thought of a good idea of, Jason Voorhees would be a good idea. That will if Jason Voorhees was never taken for horror, if he was just used as wrestling, that would be perfect as fuck. But but as horror, that's even better because the character can live on forever. But um I remember watching all the horror Friday 13 movies. I watched all of them. My favorite one is 1, 2, and 3, and the rest I have mixed emotions about it. Jason X. I reviewed Jason X. You guys know how I feel about Jason X. Fuck that movie. Freddy vs. Jason. Haven't reviewed it, but holy shit, I love that movie. A lot of people might hate it. That's fine. But I fucking love that movie. I had to review it eventually. Maybe in the next video I'll probably review it. Who knows? But no, I really love Jason Voorhees just because he was different from Freddy and Jason. Yes, a little bit similar, but not too similar to be like, oh, they're basically twins. Not like, oh, I don't know, Jason Goes to Hell. They're basically saying Jason has a sister, and it's like, are you doing the Michael Myers thing now? Really? You couldn't think of anything better? By the way, when Jason Goes to Hell came out, people loved it. Now, over the years, people start to hate it. Some people like it. I mean, I like it. I like Jason Goes to Hell. It's just that some parts of that movie is really, really stupid, in my opinion. It's like, they could have done this better, but they decided to do this instead. I do like the aspect of Jason Goes to Hell that he switches bodies. I like that. It's just the part with the family. That is stupid. Jason was just the only child. That's what it was. He was the only child. That's why the mother of Jason Voorhees went crazy, because he was the only child that she had. Does that make sense? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, she had a child before Jason or some shit like that. It's like, the fuck? Why are you making this shit? Why are you making shit up that's never been told before? It might be interesting, but once a horror movie already does it and you take it, people are just going to be like, you mocked this horror movie, and it's true. So, anyways, moving on. Let's go with number 4. Number 4 is Freddy Krueger. How can you not put number 4 for Freddy? I don't know. 4 knives for number 4. Why not, right? Freddy Krueger is a child killer and a molester, basically. Jason's story is tragic because he died as a kid. Freddy's story is not tragic at all. You actually don't feel sorry for the motherfucker. He killed kids and raped them, and then the parents took over and killed him, and then he came back in kids' dreams to kill their kids. That's one way to torture the parents, right? Kill their kids, and that is one smart motherfucker, I'll tell you that much. And most people be like, why not kill the parents instead of the kids? Since the parents killed you? But I don't want to get into that. There's a whole other fucking topic for another story. But I do like to say is, I do love this character, Freddy, because he is fucking crazy with his one-liners. He's fucking hilarious. Even though most people might be like, he's a child killer and a molester. Are you really rooting for that guy? It's like, yeah, the remake kind of did that. They really did. It's like, oh, Oh God. It's kind of like that. Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street remake is kind of like that. If you actually watch it, you'd be like, if you actually understand it and get it, you'd be like, ooh, you went there? You went there? You didn't show the picture, but you went there. And and they showed the picture. I mean, they didn't show it, but, you know, without showing it, it speaks 1,000 words, you know, for the remake, basically. So, but I do want to talk about the remake for a little bit. The Blu-ray remake of Nightmare on Elm Street is actually really better than the original DVD because the original DVD doesn't have a lot of stuff that the Blu-ray has. And the Blu-ray has a lot of content that they cut out of the movie that is so good that you wish that it was just put in the movie just because it would have been a whole lot fucking better. A whole lot fucking better, I'll tell you that much. I do like the remake. It's not the worst remake ever. Oh God, it's not like Psycho. Moving on. So anyways, I love this Freddy character. My favorite, obviously, Freddy movie of all time is Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Probably most people have iffy about it, but the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie will always stand out as one of the best. Always. Hands down. No one is not going to argue with that. No one. People might argue with number 2. I have no complaints with number 2, but people do. I can see why, though. I can really see why. But number 3 is just fucking awesome. Number 3 is one of my favorite Freddy movies of all time. So much creativity in that movie. That's what it is. It's all dreams. Be creative. Why is it? The remake wasn't even that creative. It's like, really? It's a dream. You can do anything. But whatever. Number 3 is Chucky. Obviously, I was introduced to this character when I was a kid. I was little when Chucky was actually one of my very first horror movies that I actually saw. But, I loved the character when I first saw him. Loved him still to this day. I mean, I fucking have a doll of him right freaking here. I have a doll of him right here, and plus he has a real knife here. I actually put a real knife on him instead of that fake shit, you know? So, I mean, because it's creepier if you actually put a real knife on Chucky instead of a fake one, in my opinion. I don't know. They should have sold it with real knives. I heard that they do sell some Chucky dolls with a real knife, but it does come with a warning label and everything, but it doesn't come in stores. I think you have to go somewhere, like, not a pawn shop, but like a shop that sells hardcore horror stuff and make sure that's fucking real. Because I know at FYE, right now they're selling a Freddy glove at FYE, and it's actually sharp. Like, the knives are sharp as fuck. It actually says that on the box. I was going to get it, but don't have the money. But if I was going to get it, I would never take it out of the box. I'll fucking hang it on the fucking wall. I'll be like, that's Freddy's glove. But anyways, moving on with Chucky. I love this character so much that I literally want the franchise to keep going. But I can understand why people don't want the franchise to keep going. Yes, to me, in my opinion, they should have ended the series in Bride of Chucky. I'm saying that because I love Bride of Chucky so goddamn much. People hate it. Some people do. That is totally fine. I fucking love this movie. I fucking love Bride of Chucky. I always love this fucking movie. Always. Yes, Chucky having a woman, most people might be like, no, just stick to the normal, which I don't mind, which they did kind of do in Curse of Chucky. But I love all the freaking Chucky movies. I love them. The Chucky movie, first, Child's Play, love it. Second one, adore it. Third one, obviously love it. Freaking Bride of Chucky, amazing. Seed of Chucky, you know, guilty pleasure. Curse of Chucky, one of my favorites. I mean, I put it right next to, you know, Bride of Chucky, obviously, but Bride of Chucky is always going to be number 1, then Curse of Chucky and Seed of Chucky would be number 3. Because, I mean, Seed of Chucky is just a guilty pleasure for me, you know. I know it's a bad movie, I know, even Don Mancini, he does love this movie. Don Mancini literally admits that he loves this movie because he wants to go all out with it, with the comedy. But since, you know, the backlash of the fans, so he was like, oh, okay, maybe we should not go there anymore. And it's true. We should. If you get a backlash from fans, even though you might love it, the fans might not like it. So you'd be like, okay, let's change this. You know. Yes, we did it once. We might did it twice. You know, because Bride was mostly a comedy horror, kind of like what is it? Kind of like Evil Dead, almost, but not exactly like Evil Dead. Chucky does way more different than Evil Dead does. But by the way, Evil Dead is awesome. But moving on. Let's keep going. Number 3 was Chucky. Number 2 is The Thing and The Blob. Now, I couldn't think of who to put in this list for number 2, so I decided to put both of them. The Thing and The Blob is the most awesomest horror fucking icon villains, one of all times. The Thing can take any shape or form. The Blob can literally devour you while you're inside of him. You're literally, he's if you get caught by the Blob, his whole body is literally, his body is basically, it destroys your fucking face and your bone. It's acid. Thank you, I was trying to think of that. It's acid. Blob is literally acid. The Thing is literally a monster that you don't know what it is. That's the best thing about The Thing and Blob. There are monsters that would never stop coming at you. And that's why number 1 would be, for number 1 does this too. He will not stop coming after you until you're dead. But I'm not talking about number 1, I'm talking about number 2. So The Thing and The Blob are my favorite horror movie villains because they do so much, basically. They're so simple, but they do so fucking much. I heard that Rob Zombie is going to remake The Blob. That is probably never going to happen because that's probably already passed. So I heard someone else is going to remake The Blob. All I have to say is, if you're going to fuck it up, fuck you. Don't fuck this shit up. You know, the remake of The Blob from 1988, awesome. That's one of my favorite ones. You know, obviously that's one of my favorite remakes. I mean, I love that remake. I do. It's not the best one. The 80s one actually shows how the Blob actually destroys the people. The original Blob shows how the Blob destroys everything, basically. You know, destroys the area and everything. Everyone that basically loves everything. You know, restaurants, movie theaters, and all that crap. But I really love the Blob and The Thing because it just stands out as a villain that would never stop. That's how it is. Yes, The Thing is afraid of fire. The Blob is afraid of ice. I thought those two aspects were really, really good. Because the Blob is really, if he becomes frozen, he's just frozen. He's still alive, but he's just frozen. As The Thing, however, The Thing can, yeah, he would die because he's up in smoke. But you don't know how many are there. And you don't know if the next person is The Thing after you just killed The Thing. Because he separates. Once there's a Thing over there, there's going to be another Thing over there. Because they separate each other. He can make multiple forms of himself. That's why The Thing is awesome, and that's why the Blob... to me, The Thing is way more better than the Blob, but the Blob just stands out a little bit more higher just because he grows. He eats people, and he keeps growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. As for The Thing, though, The Thing just... it's like a virus. He attaches to everything, and then you become it. It's a virus. But the Blob just keeps growing and growing and growing. So, those are my favorite villains right there for number 2. So, number 1, drum roll please. Number 1 is obviously the horror icon, The Shape, Michael Myers. When I looked at Michael Myers the first time, it was just in awe, basically, of how the mask was, how he walked. And then people just called him The Shape. That's what he was, The Shape. Because he literally was the shape of everything that you just saw. All you saw was that white mask. That's all you saw was that white fucking mask. And then just covering it from the side too just made it even creepier just because it just took shape. That was it. It took the shape. That's why they named him it. Because he took the shape of the background. He took the shape of literally of what horror is. It's like you have all these horror icons in front, but one lingers in the background, just waiting for the day to come out and do what he knows best. And that's Michael Myers. Michael Myers will always be a true horror villain, true horror icon. Doesn't matter what you say about the movies, that you love them or hate them. But the fact of the matter is, Michael Myers is the #1, in my mind, best horror icon ever. Bar none. He is the king of horror, in my opinion. Now, a lot of people might be like, who's the Godfather? I like to say Leatherface because Leatherface came out first before Michael Myers, but I'm mostly talking about the first Leatherface ever because the first Leatherface is awesome, obviously. The other ones were like, but the first Leatherface will always stake out as one of the best, obviously. But Michael Myers is always going to be king. Michael Myers will always be the best and always will be the best at what he does, obviously. So there you go. There's my top 5 favorite, well, not my favorite, but my top 5 horror movies, villains. So this is just obviously my opinions. You guys don't have to agree with this, but what is your top 5 favorite horror villains? Comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe. My main goal here is try to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. So join me on Facebook as Jermaine Velasquez, on Twitter as @ScarClown, Instagram as @ScarClownVelasquez, and SoundCloud as @ScarClownVelasquez. Can't find it? The link will be in the description box. Thank you guys, and I hope you enjoy this video.